The return of the Silk Road, China's global strategy. The ancient Silk Road may have faded, but its influence never disappeared. Today, we are witnessing its resurgence under a new vision, China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. What are the goals of this ambitious project? How does it compare to the ancient trade network? And what impact will it have on the future of global trade? Welcome to the third and final episode of our series on the Silk Road. For centuries, the Silk Road shaped the world economy. Now, China is reviving its legacy with the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, a vast infrastructure and investment program designed to connect Asia, Europe, and Africa through new trade corridors. But why is China investing billions into this project? And what does it mean for the rest of the world? China launched the BRI in 2013 under President Xi Jinping's leadership, aiming to boost economic growth, infrastructure development, and international trade. The initiative covers over 140 countries and spans multiple continents. It includes massive investments in roads, railways, ports, and even digital infrastructure, positioning China as a key player in global trade. The BRI is often compared to the Marshall Plan, the US-led economic aid strategy after World War II, but on a much larger scale. Unlike the Marshall Plan, which was focused on Western Europe, the BRI encompasses a diverse range of economies, from developing nations in Africa to economic powerhouses like Italy and Germany. The goal is to create a seamless trade network that benefits all participants while strengthening China's geopolitical influence. The ancient Silk Road was a decentralized system of trade routes where merchants, cities, and empires played individual roles in shaping commerce. In contrast, the BRI is a highly coordinated, state-led initiative with China at the helm. While both routes connected Asia to Europe, the new Silk Road focuses on large-scale infrastructure projects that modernize and optimize trade efficiency. Another significant difference is technology. In ancient times, goods were transported by camel caravans and ships, taking months or even years to reach their destinations. Today, high-speed rail networks, automated ports, and artificial intelligence-driven logistics have significantly accelerated trade processes, allowing goods to travel across continents in days rather than months. This technological advancement makes the BRI far more efficient and ambitious than its predecessor. The Belt and Road Initiative is not just an abstract concept. It has materialized into massive construction projects worldwide. Some of the most notable developments include China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPE, a network of highways, railways, and energy projects linking China to Pakistan's Gwadar port, providing China with direct access to the Arabian Sea. Port of Hambantota in Sri Lanka, a deep-water port that has raised concerns over debt dependency as Sri Lanka had to lease it to China for 99 years due to loan repayment difficulties. Kenya's Standard Gauge Railway, a modern rail line connecting Mombasa to Nairobi, significantly improving transport logistics within East Africa. Europe's Piraeus Port, acquired and modernized by China's COSCO, turning it into one of Europe's busiest shipping hubs. These projects exemplify China's long-term strategy, expanding trade access, securing critical maritime routes, and reinforcing economic partnerships worldwide. Despite its ambitious goals, the BRI has faced significant criticism. One of the biggest concerns is the concept of debt-trap diplomacy, where China provides loans to developing nations that later struggle to repay them. Critics argue that China strategically lends to countries knowing they may default, forcing them to cede control over key assets, as seen in Sri Lanka's Hambantota port. Furthermore, there are growing geopolitical tensions. Western nations, particularly the US and European Union, view the BRI as an expansion of China's global influence rather than a purely economic initiative. This has led to countermeasures such as the European Union's Global Gateway and the US-backed Build Back Better World (B3WW) plan, which aim to provide alternative funding for infrastructure development. Looking ahead, the success of the BRI will depend on several factors. Economic sustainability remains a major challenge, as debt concerns could lead to more project cancellations or restructuring agreements. Additionally, shifts in global politics, trade disputes, and the emergence of competing economic alliances will play a role in shaping the initiative's long-term viability. However, if executed effectively, the BRI could revolutionize global trade by providing modern infrastructure to regions historically left out of economic globalization. The question remains, will China's modern Silk Road succeed in creating an interconnected global economy, or will political and financial obstacles lead to its decline? The BRI is more than just an economic project. It is a geopolitical tool that is reshaping global alliances. As China invests in infrastructure worldwide, new power dynamics are emerging. How is this affecting the balance of power? China has strengthened its presence in Central Asia, the Middle East, and Africa through investments in critical infrastructure. Countries like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Ethiopia have received billions in funding for ports, roads, and energy projects. These investments have deepened China's economic ties and diplomatic influence in key regions. However, while China presents the BRI as a win-win for all participants, critics argue that these projects come with long-term dependencies. Many of the recipient countries have struggled to repay loans, raising concerns about sovereignty and financial stability. Some analysts see this as an extension of China's soft power, a way to increase its influence without direct military involvement. Western powers have responded to the BRI with their own initiatives. The European Union has launched the Global Gateway project, a strategic investment program designed to compete with China's growing economic influence. The United States, along with its G7 allies, has introduced the Build Back Better World (B3WW) plan, focusing on infrastructure projects in developing nations. The key difference between these initiatives and China's BRI is funding. While China's projects are primarily financed through loans provided by Chinese banks, Western alternatives rely more on private sector investments and government partnerships. However, critics argue that Western efforts lack the scale and efficiency of China's well-coordinated infrastructure strategies. Beyond physical infrastructure, China is expanding its influence through technology. The digital Silk Road is an extension of the BRI that includes investments in 5G networks, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and satellite systems. Chinese tech giants such as Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent have played a crucial role in this expansion. Huawei, in particular, has built telecommunications infrastructure in over 70 countries, enabling China to establish itself as a global leader in digital connectivity. While this benefits many developing nations by providing affordable technology, concerns about cybersecurity, surveillance, and data privacy have led countries like the US, Australia, and the UK to ban Huawei from their networks. The Belt and Road Initiative isn't just about economics. It has potential military implications as well. Many of China's investments in ports and shipping lanes have dual-use capabilities, meaning they can serve both commercial and military purposes. For instance, the port of Gwadar in Pakistan is strategically located near the Persian Gulf, giving China direct access to the Middle East's oil supplies. Similarly, China's control over the Hambantota port in Sri Lanka has raised concerns that it could be used for naval operations. In the South China Sea, Beijing has expanded its presence by constructing artificial islands and militarizing key maritime routes, reinforcing its claims over contested waters. As China continues to expand its influence, the world is witnessing a growing divide between two economic and political blocs. On one side, China and its allies, such as Russia and some developing nations, are promoting a multipolar world order that reduces Western dominance. On the other, the US, Europe, and their partners are forming strategic alliances to counterbalance China's rise. This divide has led to increasing tensions in global institutions, such as the United Nations and the World Trade Organization, where major powers are competing for influence. The question remains, will the world move toward greater cooperation, or will these economic rivalries lead to further conflicts? Will this new Silk Road stand the test of time, or will it face the same fate as its predecessor? Let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe for more deep-dive geopolitical content. Leave a comment. Do you think China's BRI will dominate global trade, or will other nations challenge its influence? Thank you for watching this Silk Road series. Stay tuned for more geopolitical insights.